Yo, what's up guys, this is Stylish and this is gonna be another in-game VOD. This is actually gonna be the in-game VOD of how to adjust the 9-min push to a Zerg that won't take to Hive. Because sometimes if you do the 9-min push and you push out at 9 minutes and you're gonna rate the Zerg that has Hive tech really fast, but if he doesn't have high tech, he's gonna rape you really bad because he's gonna have a lot of expansions, or at least one more expansion than usual, and more hatcheries and more units, and then you can't really make a timing push. So this is just to show you how to react versus a Zerg that doesn't do the fast Hive tech. And I actually believe that the fast Hive tech is the best thing for a Zerg to do, unless he's doing some sort of 2 hatchery build. But I think that actually shows in like Pro League and pro gamers, because they usually rush to Hive. And if they don't rush to Hive, they're gonna get owned, because this is a very good counter to that, and it's really impossible for, it's not impossible, but it's really hard for the Zerg to actually beat a really big army of Terran without having Ultralisks or Cracklings or Swarm. So if you know this counter, then usually you won't have any problem with the Zerg doing really late Hive tech. This game is actually not played versus a really good player. I don't know who he is. I just played him on iCup, and the game itself isn't really good. So if you're looking for an enjoyable game, an exciting game, I don't think you should watch this. But for educational matters, I think this is very good for at least the lower ranked players to know how to react, because it's still pretty representable for the build order that I'm going to show here. So I start off with a 9-min push, but actually I do a 10 racks instead, and I do a pretty early scout because this is on a pretty low rank on iCup and I don't want to get cheesed or anything like that. So I usually scout with the SV, making the first supply just to be sure, and then also I make it 10 racks so I'm able to defend any kind of 9 pool or 4 pool for that matter. And also, if I haven't scouted him when my first marine is finished, I make another marine, as I did this game. And then if I scout him before the second marine is finished, I just cancel that marine and get my command center up as fast as possible if he's doing the 12 hatchery. So I would suggest that you keep producing marines in the beginning until you have scouted what he's doing, because if he's doing a 9 pool and you're doing like a 1 rack fast expansion with 1 marine, you're gonna get pretty destroyed, and that's never a good thing. So be sure to think about that. And then the build order is just the same as I used on the 9-min push. I'm gonna make a new 9-min push game VOD. I'll try to get a good game. The reason why I chose this game was that I've actually been trying to record a couple of games where I do this strategy, and I mean some of the games they do 2 hatcheries, some of the games they do something else, and I have to like adjust my strategy. And I wanted to show you where like a normal game when the Zerg does a normal 3 hatch muta build. So and also a lot of the VODs has been corrupted somehow. I don't know. After like 6-7 minutes, my computer started lagging, and then the program just quits. So I finally got a VOD about this, and then I thought, well, then I might as well just post this. So it's not like to brag or anything. I know this player is probably pretty low ranked. I'm not trying to blame him or anything, but I just wanted you to know that this is what you should do versus the slow Hive, and it doesn't really matter if the game is good or not, because yeah. Well, anyway, of course I will try to record more VODs of me doing this strategy versus better players. So you will see some pretty good games in the future, hopefully. For example, Nalgrim has come back from his vacation, and probably I will be able to play some games versus him. Anyway, let's see here. What I do here is pretty much just the 9-min push. So the build order I've already covered in the 9-min push build order, so I'm not going to walk you through that here as well. On Andromeda, which is the map of the week right now, I usually place my barracks pretty far down here, so I get a good macro mode area, because it's quite narrow, close to your main. And that's good because then you get a good macro mode area, but it's also bad because if he does a 4 pool, it's going to be really hard to defend with your barrack being so far away from your command center. Because if you place a bunker or something like that, the marine has to go far distance. So It's actually pretty risky, but if you combine that with a really early scout, then I would suggest that you can do that. Also, if you haven't scouted him on the second try, I actually think it's good to take yet another SCV from your main and pull him towards the last um, spot where your opponent is spawning, because that way he will find the Zerglings if he's rushing halfway to your base, and you will be able to pull SVs and block the ramp or whatever. So that's pretty good, because Andromeda is a really good, I mean, it's a really big map, and if you scout him on the last try, it's going to be too late to detect any kind of rush. So I would suggest that you do that. And also, as you can see here, when I scan him, I actually use 2 scans, even if I see his fire, because I really want to know if he does any kind of hidden tech or anything like that. And also be sure to watch his larvas. If he's saving up 3 larvas in all the hatcheries, then it usually means that he's going to do the Mutalist build. But if you scout a spire and you see that he hasn't any larvas saved up, then it could just as well be some kind of lurker build or whatever. And you should always use those 2 scans. So let's just see what I do here. I add the science facility and the e-base at the same time. Of course, that's really good if you want to get as fast upgrades as possible. And then I just add turrets. I add some more turrets at the place where I think my marines won't be able to support them really fast. For example, here to the left of my main base, my marines won't really be able to go there in time for his mutalisks. So I add 3 turrets and also 3 turrets in my natural. So if he's gonna attack that area, he's gonna have to actually kill like 6 turrets, and that's gonna be enough for me to kill him. And as you can see here, he thought that I only had like 12 marines or something like that, but be sure to always have hotkeyed your units in your main as well. So if he ever attempts any attack like that, just pull those marines as well and use the ramp to your advantage, so he cannot surround your units. And usually you're going to be able to send off that attack anyway. I lost a tank here, but he lost a lot more, so that's not really a big issue. So basically what you do is that before you move out with a 9-man push, you're going to scan his main and you're going to see if he is taking to Hive. If he's taking to Hive when you scan his main right before your vessel pops out, then it means usually that he's rushing to Hive. So, I mean not rushing to Hive, but taking fairly fast to Hive. And then you should continue with the 9-man push, I think. And if you see that he still has a lair and you don't even see like what's it called, a queen's nest. If you don't see a queen's nest or a hive tech, then I suggest that you keep making vessels instead of dropship after the first vessel. Just keep making vessels and keep making tanks, and you can usually delay the siege tank upgrade just like a few seconds more. And then just stand ground in your natural and just macro up. And what you want to do is actually gather a really huge army and then move out. I mean, if you see that he's not doing a hive tech, but you see the queen's nest when you scan right before 9 minutes, that means that he's doing a slow hive tech, but he's still doing the hive tech to get those defilers. And then you should move out when you have 2 vessels. You're gonna have like 5 tanks at that point, and also almost 3 groups of marines. So then you're gonna move out and you're gonna push his natural, because you don't want to waste time pushing any kind of expansion or something like that, because that will actually give him time to get those defilers up, and then he will be able to I don't know, fight back. It's still viable, but I really don't think it's a good idea because he can backstab you or whatever. So usually I aim for his natural expansion and then go towards his main. And if you scan him and you don't even see, like here for example, I see another hatchery and I don't see hive and I don't see queen's nest, that usually means that he has actually taken 2 more expansions and he's powering like a madman. He's getting a lot of lurkers and a lot of units, and then you actually just wait for the 2-1 upgrade. And by that time you're gonna have like 7 tanks, 3 vessels, and a lot of marines, and then you're gonna move out and basically just move to his natural, and he's not going to be able to kill all those units, because if you don't have any hive tech, there's no real way you can beat this size army of Terran, and that's why the pro gamers usually do the Hive tech, because if they're playing a Terran who knows that you can't do a timing push versus something that isn't weak, for example, no Hive Zerg, the Terran will just macro up like this, and he will basically just steamroll the Zerg. So, I mean, in this game, this guy didn't have a lot of lurkers or anything like that, so basically I just A-moved him, but this is still the way I think you should play versus a Zerg that doesn't take to Hive. As you can see here, my army is pretty huge, and then I just control group a lot of units and send them to his natural, and then I just manually click on the rest of the units, and I have 2-1 upgrades as well, so it's going to be pretty easy to micro versus lurkers and whatever. So I hope you enjoyed these tips, and I'm going to try to make a better VOD next time. This VOD actually, the whole VOD wasn't recorded because my computer started to lag, so I'm going to post the replay anyway, so you can watch the end of the game. But I mean, the important stuff has been covered here. So good luck, have fun practicing this. Ciao.